remembrance events were held across the country to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the internment of Japanese Americans. Many people are asking if history can repeat itself. On the campaign trail, Donald Trump explicitly called for a Muslim registry, and as president, he has attempted to ban refugees and travelers from 7 majority Muslim nations. In an interview with ABC in 2015, Trump defended his proposal for a total and complete ban on Muslims entering the United States and compared it to the actions of FDR.
What I'm doing is no different than what FDR's solution for Germans, Italians, Japanese, many years ago.
So you're for internment camps?
This is a president who was highly respected by all. He did the same thing. If you look at what he was doing, it was far worse. I mean, he was talking about the Germans because we're at war. We are now at war.
Well, our next guest says one of the darkest chapters in American history has begun to repeat itself. We're joined by George Takei, the legendary actor and gay rights activist who grew up in an internment camp. He is best known for playing Hikaru Sulu on Star Trek. Takei's Broadway show Allegiance screened in cinemas across the United States on Sunday, the Day of Remembrance. It is about the internment of Japanese Americans inspired by the true story of Takei and his family's experience. George Takei, welcome to Democracy Now!
Good to be here.
Well, we've had you on the show before, but could you talk about your own family's experience and what you went through as a young child as a result of the internment policies that FDR brought into effect?
Well, as a matter of fact, yesterday, which we, as you said, considered a day of remembrance, I remembered my childhood imprisonment at the home of the man who put us behind those barbed wire fences, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's home at Hyde Park. I spoke on my memories there, and I spoke about that morning when my parents got me up very early that morning, together with my brother a year younger and my baby sister, still an infant, dressed us hurriedly, and my brother and I were told to wait in the living room while they did some packing back in the bedroom. And so the two of us were just gazing out the front living room window, and we saw 2 soldiers marching up our driveway, carrying rifles with shiny bayonets on them. They stomped up the front porch.
And this was where?
This was in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Mm-hmm.
On Garner Street, a 2-bedroom house. And they began pounding at the front door with their fists. It was a terrifying sound. My father came out, answered the door, and literally at gunpoint, we were ordered out of our home. My father gave my brother and me little packages to carry, and we followed him out onto the driveway and waited for our mother to come out. And when she came out, she had our baby sister in one arm and a huge duffel bag in the other, and tears were streaming down her face. And this I told to a packed house audience at the Roosevelt Library on the 1,000+ acre estate of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It was a strange feeling.
And your family was eventually interned where?
Well, we were first taken to the horse stables at Santa Anita Racetrack. We were taken there in a truck with other families that had been rounded up. And there they herded us over to the stable area. And each family was assigned a horse stall, still pungent with the stink of horse manure, to sleep in. Mm-hmm. For my parents, it was a degrading, humiliating experience to take their 3 children and arrange the cots for us to sleep in. I was a 5-year-old kid then, and for me, the perspective was totally different. I thought it was kind of fun to sleep where the horses sleep. So my childhood experiences were quite different from my parents' pain and anguish and the humiliation and the degradation and enragement that they went through for over 4 years.
And I seem to recall it was not only the obviously the liberal president Roosevelt who backed this policy, but also wasn't it Earl Warren, who was then the Attorney General of the famous later Supreme Court Justice? He was also very much stoking anti-Japanese phobia throughout California, wasn't he?
Earl Warren was an ambitious man. He wanted to run for governor, and he saw that the single most popular political issue in California at that time was the Lock Up the Japanese movement. And I'm using the long word for Japanese. It was an ugly three-letter word. And he made an astonishing statement as the Attorney General, the top lawyer of the state. He said, "We have no reports of spying or sabotage or fifth column activities by Japanese Americans." And that is ominous. The fact that there was no report. He said, "The Japanese are inscrutable. You can't tell what they're thinking behind that placid face. And so it would be prudent to lock them up before they do anything." So for this Attorney General, the absence of evidence was the evidence. And he fed into the hysteria